see. Hi guys! I don't know if anybody is here yet, so I'll wait a little while. But I'm kind of excited about... okay. I got so excited when I got this in the mail. I'm like, this will be perfect because it's a calendar and I can do 1 page a month with you guys, which I think is kind of awesome. And I get to finally bring on the Copics. Okay, so yes, this is what I'm planning on coloring in today. Really super excited about it. Let's see if I can get it. And this is January. These illustrations are absolutely adorable. Okay, get my protector sheet in there. And I think these are the colors that I picked out for the guinea pig. That's pretty much as far as I've gotten with what I want to do with this page. Is this cute, adorable guinea pig is going to be a gorgeous caramel brown. So I'm just gonna get started because I can hardly contain my excitement. It's a thing. I've missed using Copics. I figured I'd get some excitement about this coloring book or coloring calendar. It's all the same thing in my head. But yes, I did squeal when I saw it in the mail. And I don't have a lot of plans for this page yet. I'm kind of just winging it, I think. So we'll see how it all ends up. Dun, 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 dun. So I don't even know what I want to talk about today. Last night we celebrated my roommate's birthday. So I'm I'm still a little tired, but it's not too bad. It's not like we did anything like overly exciting. Mainly just went to Olive Garden, but I really like the food at Olive Garden, so it's dangerous. And I actually got to hang out with Stephanie from Stacks on Stacks on Stacks for a little while too, because she's actually from my area. So there was a lot of talking about books, won't lie. She's always fun to do with people in real life. Though I do really enjoy talking to you guys as well. I love the fact that I can just be like background noise while other people are doing other things. There's a lot of times that I will do that to other people's videos. And so I have a nasty habit of going to YouTube as I'm going to bed and then I'll wake up in the morning and my phone will be by my head and I won't even know what I was watching, but whoever it was did a nice job of lulling me to sleep. There's going to be a second guinea pig coloring book. I'm excited. That is definitely something that will be in my shopping cart as soon as it comes out. I will not lie. And there is going to be skinny pigs sold. Sold. You are officially my favorite person ever. Ever. No, I'm really, really, really glad that I found these coloring books. You don't even know. Yes, skinny pig librarian. That is something that I'd probably end up putting on my wall. Not gonna lie. Oh, Shay! Your cat is a wonderful human being. Just wanted to leave you some cleanup to do. Cats are great at leaving a mess and then walking away and not caring. Because I know my girls are notorious of pulling anything and everything out of some of my drawers just so they can sleep in them. Which is adorable, but a pain in my butt. Yeah, I haven't put my boys near anything, well, besides this coloring book and several of my books, that is edible. And I love my boys, and I'd probably have them out way more than I do if, unfortunately, yes. Even if they're skinny pigs, I still have a slight allergy to them. But I still get them out whenever I can, and I just wash like crazy when I'm done. 'Cause they're my babes. I think it's a combination of both the hay and the boys, because I'll sneeze when I go into the room, which I think is the hay, but I'll break out into hives when I hold the boys. So usually when I hold them, I have to have them in like a cuddle sack or something like that, which is fine. We still get to bond that way. Animals have a way of being ornery, but because they're so adorable, they can completely get away with it. Actually, If I had a biohazard suit, you know, that might actually happen. I can see, if I had a biohazard suit, I'd probably also have a whole bunch of cats as well. Which is probably good why I don't have a biohazard suit. I am looking into getting a respiratory mask, so when I'm doing cage cleanings and all of the hay stuff, that I don't have nearly the issues that I do currently. That, and I'm going to get one of those Dyson heater air purifiers, so that since it's the middle of winter, they can be warm and I can reduce the amount of dust. Because I'm bound and determined to make this work because they are simply adorable. So yeah, that's my adventures with the boys. And I'm really enjoying having them as part of my Instagram feed. That has been an adventure. I don't know what they think about it, but I'm finding it enjoyable. I mean, they get really excited about it afterwards because I always give them a treat when they go back into the cage. So I think they're starting to associate that with getting more food, which is always the way to a guinea pig's heart. But other than that, my week has been relatively calm. I did actually travel to Houston this week, which was mainly for work, so I didn't get to do anything exciting. But sometimes it's just nice to go someplace else for a little bit. Oh, and I did a reaction video to my first booktube video. I tweeted about that, so I'm sure some of you know about it. I haven't gone through the process of editing it yet. I have a feeling it's going to be quite the adventure. I don't know how people do it. How do people do reaction videos and edit it together in a way that looks seamless? Me and my fiance, soon to be husband, are hoping to go to Iceland for our honeymoon because it's one of those places neither of us have been, because both have traveled quite. So we were trying to find some place that we were both excited about that we haven't been to before. And so that's going to be our adventure as a married couple together. Mainly because I want to see the Northern Lights. I saw them a little bit when I was up in Alaska, but I really want to see those lights. Funny because I am such a homebody. I love being at home, but every once in a while I'll get itchy feet in which I want to go and I want to see something, I want to do something, but It's not necessarily to go or see or interact with people. It's to go and see the history and all of that amazing stuff that you don't get to see every day. But otherwise, most of the time you have to like really drag me kicking and screaming to go anywhere. You have to really convince me that it's worth my time. Which I think is part of the reason why I keep collecting animals. There's something very like comforting about them. And they do give you an anchor. That's exactly it. Animals gives you a reason to stay home. Hence, the dream of becoming a stay-at-home cat mom. I keep saying that. I know it's probably something that isn't going to happen, but I keep saying that. I think my mother would pass out if she actually thought that's going to be a thing. Whoops. I love Copic markers, but sometimes when I'm not paying attention, most of the time, when I'm not paying attention, I open up the wrong side of the marker. Never fails. It is definitely nice to have two different nibs that you can choose from, depending on what you're doing. And they really, really, really love how alcohol markers go down on paper. Now, it has been fun to use the new Crayola markers, but I still don't understand why they put different colors on each side of the marker. That makes no sense to me. But I do like to experiment with different things. But I always, 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 always seem to come back to the Copics. Which is funny because I had never used Copic until a little over a year ago when I started this whole coloring adventure. Hadn't even heard of them. But YouTube is great for finding things to spend your money on. Ah, she is so adorable. Let's see. And then we want some pinks for her cute little hands and ears. Probably, I'm thinking RV11 with a darker tone of the 81. I might have to find a slightly darker pink in there as well. But we can try those two first. And then the fun adventure of searching through the markers. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's try these. Like I said, I don't know if they're gonna have enough of a variant for what I want to do. What is a good place to start? See? Wrong side. Oh yeah, we're gonna need something a little darker to go with that. We could try... Wonder if RV55 will be too dark. But if we blend it out well enough, it might not be bad. So we can try that. Cross your fingers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can make that work. I can make it work. It's a little neon-y, but I got this. Ow. I do like finding good color combinations. Oh, so like tip to tip blending color? Oh, RV23 would probably look a little nice too. Might have to try that next time. It's a good idea though. There's just so many different Copic colors. You just really can't go wrong with just trying something. Yeah, I've never tried the tip-to-tip technique, kind of like the... Isn't that what the chameleon markers do? And I guess they're both alcoholic markers, so... Or alcohol markers. Markers cannot be alcoholics. I do that all the time and I get called out for it. Sometimes I want my markers to be drunk. It's a thing. It happens. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I haven't picked up the chameleons. I don't know if I'd like the coloring methodology that to really get something good out of them. It seems like a lot of work. And I don't know if I would enjoy the nibs on those. Because I really, really do love the brush tips. And I think the thing about the chameleons is the novelty of them. It's like nothing else kind of markets themselves like that. But it'd also be interesting to hear someone who uses them constantly I don't know if there is someone who uses them constantly, especially in larger areas. I can't see how they'd be easy to use when you're coloring something large. So they're probably more of for the coloring book colors than they are for illustrators and things like that. Too much construction for one marker. When it takes longer to actually set up the marker to be used, there's something wrong with that paradigm. Ta-da! Now, I think that that she would be more of a teal, light mint kind of guinea pig. That's what her office would be decorated with. That's what I'm seeing in my head anyways. So I think that I am going to maybe... I really love my blue greens. Let's see. Got BG10, maybe BG32, BG15. Yes, BG15. Just find some random things in the picture to color with that combination. If I can find my 15, I can find everything but my 15. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just recently I've really gotten into all of the teals and all of the mints and all of those blue-greeny kind of colors. Let's see. Okay, so question for you guys who use more than one marker at once, possibly to do color blends and things like this. I have a habit of holding them all in my hand at once. Am I the only one who does that? And I keep the tips open, which is dangerous because sometimes I will end up putting marker where marker should not be. But I don't know. I just like holding them ready in my hand like this. Okay, so I'm not the only one who does that. There are times where I question my sanity of doing that, but luckily I'm usually only using like 3 or so markers at once, which is considerably marker. The way I usually go about coloring a page is I'll do it in pieces. And so I'll find a color and then I'll color everything that I see in that color in that color. It's a lot of that color. And then I'll put those away. I'll usually set them aside so I know that I used them on this page. And then I'll start on something different. And then I'll only have those ones opened and in my hand. But yeah, I always put what I'm using in a special container, especially if I don't finish the image all in one day, so that I can go back and I know what color palette I was using. Dun, dun, dun. Which is usually why I don't have a lot of pictures going at the same time. I'm one of those people where if I start coloring something, I feel the need to finish it before I start something new. So I don't usually have a lot of coloring pages going at one time. Though right now, because I'm doing these live streams, I have this one going and that one we were doing last weekend, which I probably, if I wasn't doing all of the paper flowers that need to be done and thinking about all of those kind of wedding stuff, I probably would have finished that off camera and shown it to you guys. But I've just got so much in my head right now that this hour right here is my coloring hour. It's just fine. I'm learning how to diversify my coloring life, I guess. Oh, I can't wait to see your planner, Shay. You're gonna do pictures, right? They're gonna be pictures? I do enjoy, I have a small section of my social medias that are all planner stuff. Not that my planner is really that exciting. But I do love seeing how people set up like their bullet journals or any other kind of planners. Just because in my head, I like being organized. It doesn't always translate into something epic in real life, but that's fine. Sometimes I think by just saturating yourself with inspiration, eventually some of it's going to wear off on yourself. So that's kind of the mentality I have in life, which is kind of how I started BookTube. Is I saturated myself in the BookTube world, and eventually I'm like, well, this could be a thing that I do. I mean, I've sat here and I've watched how many thousands of hours of these videos. I mean, I could at least try. And of course, that was actually, it's actually the same thing that happened with my coloring as well. I think I stumbled across like Dee Dee and I saw all of her beautiful stuff, which led me down this whole other rabbit hole. And I was watching everyone color and I'm like, why is this not in my life? Why am I not doing this? And here I am, coloring. Well, I can't wait to see what the planner spread looks like. I'm sure it is going to be amazing. Yeah, coloring has actually changed my... I know it sounds like deep and profound. Coloring has changed my life. But no, I mean, there's something about coloring. And I can see why a lot of therapists and things like that recommend it to people. Because you literally can't do it anything wrong with this. I mean, you get to choose how you do it and when you do it and why you do it. So, and it could be something that you just keep to yourself, something you can share with the world, and just the way it's been connecting people recently. And yeah, I know there are some people who are really, really confused by this whole adult coloring book thing. But there's something about taking care of your mental health that this is really, really nice for. And I think that I will probably be one of those really old ladies sitting in a nursing home coloring in coloring books. I mean, it's kind of like doing jigsaw puzzles. It's got that, well, I mean, unless jigsaw puzzles really frustrate you, but kind of sort of has the same calming. And I'd probably do jigsaw puzzles too if my cats would let me. In fact, I have a half-finished jigsaw puzzle rolled up in one of those jigsaw mats that I started 4 years ago and just haven't picked up again because it's just so much work trying to make sure that the cats don't run off with the pieces, and finding a space in my house, a flat space in my house that's big enough to hold all of the pieces. I don't have, well, I love my house. That's why I bought my house. But I don't have a lot of counter space or just flat area in general without like moving a lot of the furniture or doing it in the middle of the carpeted floor, which is not helpful when you're trying to keep away from the cats. I will look for that spread, picture of that spread. I'm excited to see it. It sounds adorable. What I really like about coloring is you can do it pretty much anywhere as long as you know you have a clipboard or a portable desk, which is why I have a little pop-up desk that I usually have on the couch with me when I'm watching TV or something. What else can we make green? I'm just gonna go to town, randomly selecting things, making them green. I have absolutely no rhyme or reason to this. And right now, when I color, I usually choose like 3 colors that are within the same tone. I know there are ways that you can add different colors in to make the colors even deeper, and maybe I'll experiment with that at some point, but right now this is kind of what I like doing, so this is the way we're gonna do it. Sticky notes. Let's see, how do I wanna... That was the dark color. That is not what I meant to do, but we're gonna roll with it. It's fine. It's another thing I like about alcohol markers is even if you screw up, you can kind of still make it work. There we go. And I did the same thing again. Grab the dark color instead of the mid-tone. At least I'm consistent, I guess. Not paying attention is more like it. Now, I will admit that the original Copic barrels, you would think they'd be like really awkward to hold because they're so fat and square shaped, but I actually like them. I don't know why. And it's also nice because they don't roll off my table. I mean, the chows are nice, but I can see why people go for the sketch a little more. And it's probably a little bit to do because my drafting table is tilted, which doesn't help. Yeah, chows don't hold a lot of ink at all, unfortunately. So I have started collecting refills for all the markers I own. But luckily the refills are pretty decent in size. Expensive, but decent. Yeah, all of my markers I store sideways. I have a little container sitting upright next to me, especially the dual tipped ones so that you can get ink on both sides. But depending on what kind of paper you're using, you can definitely use up a lot of ink because it just kind of absorbs into the paper. That, and I really like blending all of these together, which also can take up a lot of ink depending on how you do it. And that was almost the wrong color. My favorite colored pencils to work with are the Polychromos. I really like how they feel. And those are the ones that I'm learning to color pencil with. Yes, I just made color pencil a verb. Who needs random English rules? I like to make things up just how I am. We could probably make the lamp green. It might be the internet connection that is causing some of that, unfortunately, that picture distortion that's going on. Look up, and yeah, the connection gets a little wonky. I am thinking about getting a new internet provider. Shh. Hopefully they can't hear me right now. Not a huge fan of the internet that I have right now, but I have to wait until the other company that I want to switch to actually gets cables out in my area. Hopefully that'll be relatively soon. I really wish there were more providers to choose from. I don't understand how there is so few and how they can have such a monopoly and then charge an arm and a leg. It's one of those things that with the whole net neutrality thing going on, just it makes me extremely paranoid. Because you know that if the internet providers can charge certain websites to get more bandwidth, that those websites are going to have to in turn charge us more to actually use them. I don't know. I don't know. That's not the color I want to use. So I am all for net neutrality. Hopefully it sticks around. Otherwise, who knows what internet prices will do. I mean, not necessarily the internet providers, but things like Netflix. What are they going to have to start charging? I have wondered if internet like a utility, what that would look like. I mean, part of me is somewhat interested in it, but then the other part of me is like, well, if it's a utility, I mean, what would it be? Cable internet? Would it be satellite internet? would you get to choose between those two, or would it only be one? And then do the states get to set, or the cities get to set what the utility cost for that would be? And could they in turn end up charging something ridiculous? I don't know enough about how utility prices are decided to make an educated argument for or against it, I guess. But yeah, I can see how it being a utility might be easier to get it to everybody. And yes, I would totally pay the price if it were guinea pigs setting setting the bill for the internet. I mean, I think I know where to get me some grade A lettuce. It's just amazing how 20 years ago the internet was just something that is nice to have, but if you didn't have it, it wasn't a big deal. But now, if you don't have the internet, it's hard to get ahead in life. It's become such a part of our lives that if you aren't connected to it in some way, you're almost losing out. Because I remember when the internet as we know it was just a little tiny baby. And I was down in my dad's basement making websites. Not for anything specific, just because I liked putting the code together. Yep, the internet gives me job security too. If the internet did not exist, I would not be where I'm at in life. That is for sure. I spend most of my day laying out what web applications should look like, what websites should look like, how to make them easier for people to use. So it has definitely given me a career path. Kind of like that. How to explain what I do? I work for a scientific instrument company. I help them develop, well, a little bit of their website and a lot of how their instruments interact with other devices. So a lot of their software and their applications, I help design and develop those. That's basically what I do when I'm not on the internet. I think this is coming out adorably too. I'm really, 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 really liking it. I don't know what I'm going to do after I'm done with the minty green color, but that is something for future April to worry about. One step at a time. But no, I love my job. I get to meet some fairly interesting people and develop some fairly interesting applications that sometimes I don't even understand the science behind, but it's still fun to do. Ooh, photo retouching. Yeah, web application development. Yes. A lot of where my wheelhouse is as well, except for I'm on the customer development, the UX side of that. I propose a possibility of what it could look like, and then I go out to customers and I ask them how they think it works. If it works for what they typically do, if it's something that they would use. I get to make sure it's all user friendly. Yeah. Something kind of like that. Oop, hit the camera. Sorry about that. I think that is probably all that I'm going to do for today. And then hopefully, maybe at some point, we can continue on with this. I'm really loving doing these live streams and talking to you guys. It's great fun, and I'm glad you guys could come and join me today. Maybe I'll switch off between, well, this is the last January, isn't it? Well, maybe I'll finish this one off screen, and then come next month, we have this cute little party Valentine's Day couple thing. I'm definitely going to be doing this one next month. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.